Might take a second to pass through.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's still not live. That's weird.
No. Are we? It's super professional. YouTube's not updating, so I'm just going to wait until I see it. Hello, everyone. Technical difficulties. Now we're finally on YouTube, so I apologize if there was a little bit of a delay there. So we're going to act like the previous 5 minutes never happened. Last week on GTP on paper, it looked very straightforward with Lincoln Larson winning from pole position, but I can tell you it was an absolute roller coaster of an event, and we didn't know who was going to win until the very last lap. Meanwhile, in GT3, Austin Diltz pulled away and ran a very quiet race, running away to victory in that class. We wonder if either of our points leaders will go 2 for 2 tonight. We'll find out together over the next hour. We have 9 GTP cars and 30 GT3s, making a total of 39, taking to the track at the World Center of Racing next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Opened in 1958, this 3.56 12-turn roval is known around the world to racing fans of any discipline, from NASCAR, sports cars, supercross, and anything in between. The lap begins with a dash across the famous start-finish line to a hard braking zone into Turn 1 as we slalom through the Turn 2 chicane down to the International Horseshoe. We'll expect plenty of overtakes here. The second horseshoe interrupted by the left-hand kink flat out in both of these classes, hard braking to Turn 5, that second horseshoe, and Turn 6, one of the most difficult corners on this circuit. After that, you blast up the banking into Turns 1 and 2 of the oval, and down to Turns 3 and 4 of the oval, separated by the Le Mans chicane. The format for the OSRL GT Series is as follows. We are halfway through our qualifying session. We will determine the grid for our 45-minute race in just a couple moments. The 4th season of the OSRL GT Series continues tonight, despite Bryan Sawyer not knowing how to push buttons. I love you, buddy. He's in the production truck. Justin Robichaux next to me in the commentary box. We got Cody Erdmann on track. He said, I want to drive these cars. I said, that's fine. My name is Josh Mertz. We welcome you to Daytona Beach, Florida. We apologize for the technical difficulties. If you see the Discord, there's 9 things for Bryan Sawyer in there that he ignored until I told him that we weren't live. So, cameras for tonight's broadcast brought to you by Whiplash SimCams, and coverage of OSRL and ASN brought to you by NordVPN, your gateway to online freedom and security. Protect your digital privacy with military-grade encryption, browse the web anonymously, and access your favorite content from anywhere in the world. You can receive 67% off a 2-year plan with 3 months free for a friend at nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Justin Robichaux, I know you weren't here last week, but last week, it seemed like nobody in GTP wanted to win the race. We had cars crashing, we had cars running out of fuel, and Daytona, a wonderful venue. So how are you, and what are you thinking about tonight?
It's so polarizing, the track, but it's very fun. It seems boring on the surface, and I know some people don't like it for certain reasons, but it's challenging. That bus stop, very difficult to hit. I think you'll see some trouble there tonight, especially with what we saw last week. But Watkins Glen, let's give them a break. Watkins Glen is a tough track anyways. My first league GT3 experience, Josh, the back straight on lap 1 turned into an absolute parking lot, and I got a top 10 finish where I shouldn't have in a sprint race, and kind of ended with a really good position, just over some calamity anyways. So I'm excited to see what this track brings. I like it. It looks like we've got the lights going. Just gonna be wicked fun.
The Daytona International Speedway is incredible during the day, even more so at night. I was here in 2021 for the NASCAR Cup Series race, and it is incredible to be at this venue. As I don't think we have graphics for it, but I'll just let you know the first couple of spots in GTP points coming into tonight's race here in Daytona Beach. Lincoln Larson, 39 points. Dylan Gonas, according to my timing, actually, he is here, so he just must have showed up. He's sitting in second, Justin Gibbs in third, out of the 7 cars that scored points. In GT3, Austin Diltz leads with 39, Corey Allen with 35, Gene McCloughan with 34, out of 32 cars that raced last week in Watkins Glen. So, it is a repeat of last week so far. Lincoln Larson, 1 minute 32.005. Dylan Gonas, 1 minute 32.122. And look at our very own Cody Erdmann, 1 minute 32.131. You're a tenth off the pole position. Sorry, I have to be biased for 2 seconds.
Fantastic.
He leaves me and jumps in the car, Justin, and he's right on pace. Wow.
I was excited enough as it was to see him post that he was going to jump in this car specifically. I knew he was going to race, but to jump in that class and now to see him on possibly a podium spot here entering it is fantastic, Josh. Yeah, you talk about being a home buddy. I mean, Cody is our boy, right? And he's been up here already, so yeah, it's great to see him down there in the car, and maybe he'll get some more chances. Maybe I'll fill in a bit more for him. We'll see how he's feeling. I don't want to step on anybody's toes here, but we're gonna have a good time tonight. This is gonna be excellent racing. These GTP drivers are already, getting some practice in, close driving to these GT3 cars. I'm watching Lincoln Larson right now. He's getting real close and personal in practice here. Just wants to get that traffic driving going. There's a lot of GT3 cars, Josh, on the field, and they're gonna be in the way a lot here tonight.
I'll tell you what, the manufacturer parity at the top of the GTP field, Lincoln Larson in his Acura, Godas in his Porsche, Erdmann in his Cadillac, Ethan Michel's, which he was not here, I don't believe. He is in a Cadillac, was not here last week. Justin Gibbs, I think he is in a Cadillac, but I could be wrong. Cody Hayhurst, also in a Porsche. Maverick McKenna in an Acura, and Brianna Lavin in an Acura. And Christian Oquendo, actually, fastest in GT3 in his Porsche. Edgar Ruiz in second. Taking a look through this field, Brandon Holmes, Yon Gonzalez, NASA's very own Dan Carrito, Wanchi Rakenna, Austin Dilt 7th. He is actually, that's about 4/10 off of pole position right now in car number 14.
And that's one thing I love about GT3 racing, Josh, is a lot of these tracks, like from one track to another, you're going to see some strength and weaknesses come out in each of these drivers. So, I mean, we saw was it Austin Diltz that won last week, and he's just dropped down to what 7th in class at the moment, or yeah, 7th in class. So yeah, maybe it's just a track that he's not super strong with. I mean, it is very different from Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen is a little more technical in some areas, and this is quite a bit high flying, and they both have a bus stop, sure, but still very different tracks and different driving strategies as well throughout. Probably going to see that GTP traffic a little bit easier to manage in a course like this with those long straights. It's still interesting to see how this is going to play out. I'm so excited to see where everybody's going to go.
Watkins Glen, compared to here, is a tight track. Watkins Glen really in general isn't a tight track. And coming here to Daytona, a lot of space for the GTPs to be able to make some moves and get around the GT3 cars. And just trying to see and take a look on lap time. So Cody has improved. Oh, God, I cannot. We have to stay unbiased here. Wow. But he is 3/100ths of a second off, and he's on a fast lap. And I have not called a Cody Erdmann pole position probably in 8 years. So we ride on board. The man from Wisconsin got a little bit of wheel spin out of turn 6 in the Firelight Racing Cadillac and into turns 1 and 2. And Justin, in these cars, you have so much downforce, so much grip, so much speed going into the Le Mans chicane, 190 miles an hour, and gaining into the Le Mans chicane, braking down to 4th gear, 2nd, 3rd apexes. Don't want to go too far to driver's left. You'll get a track cut. And now all you can do, Justin, is hug the yellow line through 3 and 4 of the oval.
Yeah, and really just give it your all. You're at the mercy of downforce here and win. So kind of lucky if you can get in your qualifying run, stick behind somebody and get a bit of a draft and slingshot out. We'll see what he's got here as he rounds out.
1 minute 31.961. Wow. It's provisional pole for Cody Erdmann in the 5:25.
And I believe that's the first
Larson's
131
not on
the
track.
day.
Larson's
Crazy.
not on track. I think that's going to stand.
Unbelievable.
Brianna Lavin and Maverick McKenna are the only GTP cars on track. Wow. Bravo, Cody, my friend. Great lap. That's awesome.
Fantastic lap. First 131 on the day. Solid performance. This is going to be a tight battle for this lead here, Josh. If we're looking at the standings as they are right now, I mean, that's you're looking at basically 3/10 that blanket the top 4 here. You add on 4/10 and you got the top 5. That's unbelievable. That's going to be very tight with the drafts here and all the traffic out on the track. Really interesting to see how the strategy is going to play out, how these drivers attack each other, who defends, who drives better in the long haul. Could boil down to a pit. Who gets out of traffic better.
in the GT3s, we haven't missed anything. Christian Oquendo will have pole position. It looks like Ruiz is in the pit lane. Brandon Holmes crosses the start-finish line. The lap does not count. So Oquendo, I think, will be on pole position as Ruiz has ended his run. Holmes has run his run. And only other couple of cars down the order. So Oquendo on pole position in GT3. Edgar Ruiz in second. But I think the story of the night, and I promise it's not because he's my friend and he helps us out with ASN, but Justin Robichaux, Cody Erdmann on pole position after hanging out with me here last week. Impressive.
You have to think I'm gonna warm this chair a little longer, don't you think? If he's gonna come in and
I might just let him race.
Let's just do it. Yeah, let's. He's gonna have to wear ASN now, isn't he? Rock the colors. Wow.
I'll have to make him a car. Yeah, I'm gonna make him make ASN a car.
This is great. Fantastic. Yeah, I guess we're being homeboys now. We should cool it a bit. But how much time do we have left here in this session?
30 seconds left in qualifying. I just want to go over a couple programming notes before we begin to grid. The first round of the 4th season of NASA Rallycross Lights will be on March 17th in Hell in Norway, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ASN Live. You'll have Victor Valley in the production truck, Jared Lott play-by-play, and James Watson as the color there. And the 30th season of the Overwatch specialty serve as NASA Rallycross Challenge the following day, the 18th of March. That'll also be in Norway. You'll have Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, myself, Josh Mertz, and Justin Robichaux alongside me. Super exciting to kick that one off. We start out with contenders at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, go to Supercars later in the night. And the third round of the OSRL GT Series at Sebring, we're going to go right up the road. That's another magnificent track. That'll be next Thursday. That will be the 21st at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Taking a look at our grid, and everyone is memeing me for how long this grid is going to be, and I don't have much time because I think we only got half a lap. So Cody Erdmann, pole position, Lincoln Larson, Dylan Gonas, Cody Hayhurst, Ethan Michaels, Justin Gibbs, Maverick McKenna, Ayrton Littell, and Brianna Lavin, the GTP field. Christian Oquendo, 10th overall, P1 in GT3. Ruiz, Holmes, Gonzalez, Carrito, Rakenna, Diltz, Tucker, Halsey, Urquidis, Wilkie, Smith, Allen, McLuhan, Kledzik down through 24th. That is 15th in class. Victor Pfluger, Terpstra, Woods, Diedrich, Heinemann, Tuscu, Plemons, Lanning, Buchorn, DeFino, Catalano, Vincent Clark, Smith, Esvito, Jeffrey Seymour in 41st. And that is the last car on the grid. Much rather do last names and have time than go through full names and run out of time. So apologies for anybody there. And this is, I don't want to say the word spicy because we know we say this a lot, but the 9 GTPs are going to run away. They're going to run into this field. And like I said a few minutes ago, Justin, we'll have the room. We shouldn't have any issues like we did in Watkins Glen. But it's just a matter of GT3s, if you are in a slower class, mind your own business, and the GTPs will find your way around.
Absolutely, it's going to be fun to watch. I've been in a league scenario with LMP cars and GT3s, and it feels like it takes a while, but it really doesn't for the LMP cars to catch up and start to weave through traffic, especially when you get the pit strategies to they start to come in and cars are starting to stagger out a little bit. It gets very interesting. But I mean, we've mentioned it before. There's a lot of places for the LMP cars to get around, or GTP cars in this scenario. Sorry, I'm stuck in that. That was a lot. But anyways, the GTP cars, like I said, they're gonna come out. They're gonna start weaving. They got a lot of room here. As long as they're patient through some of the tight sectors and the infield, they should be quite all right. And it'll be a great little clean race. Doing
quick math, we're gonna have some lap traffic in 7 laps. They're about, I'd say about 13 seconds. Erdmann ran about 13 seconds faster. So we'll have some time. We should see a split start here at Daytona. Thanks for joining us on the Automotive Sports Network as we get ready for the second round of the OSRL GT Series here at the World Center of Racing under the lights at the Daytona International Speedway. Justin Robichaux alongside me. My name is Josh Mertz. Bryan Sawyer in the production truck. Apologies for the technical difficulties we had a few moments ago. 9 GTP cars and 32 GT3s about to do battle. 45 minutes, and this is going to be incredible under the lights here in Daytona. Safety car will head to pit lane. Field will be in the hands of Cody Erdmann and Lincoln Larson as we get ready to go green here in Daytona Beach. We go green in Florida, and Erdmann says goodbye, smokes Larson off the line. Side-by-side Gonas versus Gibbs, side-by-side Michaels versus Littell. Down to the first corner, clean for the top two. Side-by-side still Gonas versus Hayhurst as the GT3s begin. Oquendo leads Holmes, leans Gonzalez. Gonzalez sneaks to the inside of the 48. Way out wide is Holmes in that Porsche trying to get past. McKenna is in the car number 2. Down to the International Horseshoe for the first time. A couple GTPs are around in front of them. It was Littell and Michaels. Side by side in GTP, it's McKenna versus Lavin. We're not missing anything up front. And the GT3 field looks like we're clean through the International Horseshoe so far. Flicking through the field, taking a look. Doesn't look like there's any issues, Justin.
No, and that's a tough spot too. You got a couple guys that obviously may have been pushing on cold tires a bit too hard, and that International Horseshoe, you're hitting it so hard you're not even lifting, and you can get the cars loose. It was a common thing with the GT3 car when I was racing them, and it's very, very tricky. You're running a lower downforce setup here at Daytona. At least some of the quick guys should be. So tendency to get loose there. Once the tires warm up, though, should be like a lap or two. Things will be pretty good.
So we're going to take a look up front really quickly. Larson's going to be in the slipstream of Erdmann out of turn 4 of the oval, and this is going to be crucial. You don't want to be leading. Coming to the white flag or the checkered flag, Larson will pass Erdmann to end the first lap in the lead. The points leader in the 916 takes the lead from the 525. Erdmann fights back on the outside in turn 1. Not a lot of grip yet so far. Erdmann gets past. It's a car length between Larson versus Erdmann. Gonas in the 47 sneaking into the picture as well. We got one car down the pit lane. It's Brianna Lavin in the 71. She had damage with Littell on the first lap there. Side by side in GT3, we are looking, at least it was side by side, Morgan Smith and Deegan Urquidis in the 223. But now we've got Luke Kledzik in 14th in class in the 66 and Wesley Woods in 15th in class. And if I recall correctly, Kledzik is the defending champion of GTP, but he moved to GT3 this season, Justin.
Yeah, I believe so. And actually, I'm watching Dan Carita right now. He's in, it's shuffling quite a bit at the moment, but he looks to be about 7th in class, and he's got a good hold on about 4 drivers at the moment. He seems to be holding off that second charge. Everybody from 6th to 1st seems to be pretty spread out at the moment. Quite an exciting little battle here. Dan's got quite a workload behind him, it looks like, holding off this group.
I'm taking a look at Carreto's car, which is first of all an incredible livery, and instead of having like IMSA and Pro on his number plates, it's NASA, which I respect, and it says slow as the class. So always having some jokes. Taking a look in the field, Victor Pafluger, apologies for the pronunciation there, but he has spun in the 82. He was 19th in class, and I think he stalled the car in turn 5. So not a good start for the 82. And just taking a look through the field. Larson, 1 minute 32.3, 1 minute 32.5 for Erdmann, 32.7 for Gonas. So top 3, pretty close. Justin Gibbs actually faster than those top 3 there, Justin, 1 minute 32.181.
Oh wow, that's impressive. They're holding on quite tightly. He's still sitting in the middle of the track there too. It looks like someone was anyways. They're still there. It seems to be a disconnection issue. I'm actually trying to narrow in on that car, but I can't seem to.
Yeah, that's Pafluger in the 82. He's sitting on track.
I actually think he has some kind of hardware issue just based on what I'm seeing here. I can't get a replay on what happened with that whole situation. So he seems to have just disappeared off the track, and now he's just sat there idle.
I know we don't have radio enabled on the stream internally. I think they have identified that it is a connection or a hardware issue for the 82, but this is it's not his fault. It's a mechanical failure equivalent. But if you're battling into turn 5, Justin,
and you go wide, and I'm thinking if anybody comes, there he goes, he's off the track now. Like you come in wide, or you get a bit too hot coming off the horseshoe, then yeah, you're into a bad scenario there. We saw one of the Mercedes drivers, the Mercs, have to get hard on the brakes even deeper into that and trail through and cut his turn short. So yeah, he's off the track now, thankfully. But unfortunately,
right on board. Erdmann in the 525 trying to catch Larson. They're going to come up on Corey Allen in the 42. Gibbs and Gonas battling, but Gonas had a slowdown, I think he said, in the Le Mans chicane, so he loses the third spot to Gibbs in the 93. As they begin to dispatch the GT3 car of Corey Allen, the top two in GTP. And just taking a gander through the field. Timing is lighting up like a Christmas tree, but that's because Brianna Lavin is slicing, as she should, through the GT3 field in her Acura. So the 71 making her way back through the field after those incidents on the first lap, Justin.
Wow, and I'm watching a little bit of the battles behind. Sorry not to kind of just drag us off, but Dan is actually making a bit of headway here on Steve Tucker for sixth place, and he's just brought that chain of cars behind him along with him. So we got a nice little battle there from fifth on back in the GT3 class. Christian Oquendo is just kind of checked out, but Hunan Gonzalez is also holding back Brandon Holmes and Wancha Requena right now. So nice, excellent battle in these top five area. You take out Christian, who's just kind of checked out in his own zip code at the moment, Josh. But this is a great battle here in the GT3 class.
And I'm keeping an eye on, of course, GTP up front, but my Christmas tree of timing and scoring. This race is already different than last week at Watkins Glen, because Oquendo is beginning to pull away, but his gap is not lengthening as quick as Diltz was last week. We have, looks like 7 cars within, that's a couple seconds, and I know that Lavin's going to get in the way, not intentionally because she's in the faster car, but as a GT3, you mind your own business. Erdmann off the track in the 525. He's going to lose the second spot and the third spot to Gonas and Gibbs.
Gets back on. He's got dirty tires now, so he has to worry about that for a little bit.
He was pushing so hard. Dipped the left rear into the dirt, and as soon as you do that, it's over. No damage for the man from Wisconsin's car, but certainly on the back foot now.
Yeah, that's wild. Absolutely wild. We saw the whole thing happen right in front of us. And it looks like there's some moves here happening, or at least some shakiness with the GTP coming through turn one here. Just passing Brandon Holmes now. Brianna's kind of stuck in this little, honestly,
this
a pretty
is the only
precarious position.
It's the tricky bit when you're a GTP and you get caught in the infield like this. You have to weasel your way through the cars, and it's so hard
be patient,
to do.
Or be very patient, and being patient means giving up time, but really it's succumb to some time or crash or cause an incident for somebody. So yeah, it's a very, very tricky game, especially when you're seeing this many taillights up in the infield, as she seems to clear most of it now. And into clean air now. That's perfect. And out and away.
So let's get a running order reset just really quickly. Lincoln Larson, Gonas, Gibbs, Erdmann, McKenna, the top 5 in GTP. Top 5 in GT3, Oquendo, Gonzalez, Holmes, McKenna, and Diltz. And Diltz slipstreaming on McKenna down to the Le Mans chicane. And Tucker Carrito. Tucker's 1.7-ish seconds behind Diltz, but we got 3 cars under a blanket here from 3rd down to 5th. Carrito, I agree with you, still closing in on Tucker in the 24 is Mercedes-Benz versus Ferrari. And Deegan Urquidis, if something goes wrong, he is on the rear wing of Morgan Smith in the Porsche versus the Audi. So a couple German manufacturers doing battle here.
Yeah, Brandon Holmes just holding on to Gonzalez in second place here. So there's almost pairs. You've got Gonzalez and Holmes and Requena and Diltz and Tucker and Carrito. They've almost got a bunch of duels happening, basically in sections all the way back, and it's quite entertaining. A lot of these drivers, they seem to be in a groove now. So I think we're seeing a lot of the raw ability, and we've just got basically guys just charging and attacking one another. So battles all over the place.
Erdmann has blitzed past Justin Gibbs in the 93. And like I said, it was about lap 6, lap 7 that we'd see this traffic come into play. And now Lincoln Larson, Brent Smith, Matthew Buchorn, Dylan Gonass, and Erdmann now catching Gonass. Not sure if we've got some pictures. We might have to take your radio style. As Erdmann on the rear wing of Gonass in the 525 versus the 47. Apologies for the few technical difficulties we have. Like I said, might have to take you a little radio style here for just a moment on the Automotive Sports. And Dylan Gonass in the 47. Erdmann closing in on Gonass in the 525. He has pulled away from Justin Gibbs at 2.8 seconds. Coming up to traffic, indeed. Chicane defending his Gonass in the 47. Erdmann closing, quarter of a second to the Le Mans chicane. And now they've dispatched this traffic for the first part of the traffic, I'd say, the oval. But Justin, when you catch traffic on the infield, not a good time.
No, not at all. You want to catch the traffic on the ovals for sure. You get in, like we've already talked about it multiple times. So something with Cody might have had a slowdown there. I'm not sure why Cody bled so much time right there. Had to have been a slowdown. I didn't get a chance to see, but that's a huge.
Wanchi Rakenna has spun, and I think he was in about 4th in class in car number 2. I took a look, looped it in turn 1, lost numerous positions in that Porsche. Oquendo 1.7 ahead of Gonzalez. Brandon Holmes, Austin Diltz, if anything goes wrong, taking those positions. Lincoln Larson, 3.2 ahead of Gonass. Gonass caught in traffic. Erdmann, I think, indeed, I agree with you, must have had a slowdown in the 525. Gibbs, McKenna, Littell. McKenna and Littell battling. That's for the 5th position overall.
And they are just coming. They're going to come up to more traffic here too. Maybe around the bus. Yeah, they're coming up. They're going to come up around the bus stop area into some more GT3s. So this is going to be a tricky little battle for them.
Gonass caught a couple GT3s in the Le Mans chicane. Erdmann says, thank you very much. I'll use this to my advantage. A huge speed differential between these two GTPs battling for the 2nd spot overall.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Maverick had to check up a little bit on the 2. Leaves a little bit there. This is not good. And you've got 2 wide ahead.
Side by 3 on the bottom of the track. Wow. And Gonass, Erdmann gave him room. Gonass needed the room, and now they've got a couple more to dispatch. We'll keep an eye on this battle. Gonass better run through turn 1, but he still has nowhere to go. Looking drivers left, looking drivers right. And you close up so quick. The closing rate in these cars compared to the GT3s, it's a parking lot compared to normal.
Oh,
and Erdmann wheel spin out of turn 3.
Got a GT3 driver around in turn 1 here. I can't find out who it is. Dropping down. I think it was Clemens.
A couple of them. It's Jack Clark in the 197. He looped it all on his own, and I think it was a sympathy spin. It was not a sympathy spin. It was just a couple cars trying to avoid. I think it was Wesley Woods. But they are back on track. All good there.
This Littell here. They're in traffic, and Littell almost got hooked up there. I didn't see who that was. Just a bit of contact on the exit there. That held up Littell quite a bit. Dropped a lot of time here. And that almost fizzles that battle out entirely.
He is catching up to Maverick McKenna. I'm glad that we driver radio on for this series. There's some spicy words being said. Not happy with one another are a couple of these guys involved in that turn 1 incident. But,
and almost rightfully so. We're on with Brandon Holmes and Austin Diltz right now. They seem to be the closest battle. This is for 3rd.
As apologies, like we've mentioned, for the technical difficulties. Bryan Sawyer is having our best here until our main man gets back on feed.
Yeah, Brian's got McKenna, some weather issues, I think. So, yeah.
Involving himself, Maverick McKenna, in this battle in the GT3s. Ayrton Littell loves this as well, because if the GT3s hold up McKenna, this is a battle for the 5th spot. And this is also intertwined with that battle with Holmes and Diltz.
Yeah, and Littell's made a lot of ground back on McKenna, and we'll move over to that battle again here. They're weaving through traffic here. This is a very tricky spot, like we mentioned. Littell getting awful close to those GT3 cars in some of these corners.
as Brent Smith, I'm just taking a look through the field. We don't have to change to it specifically, but Brent Smith and Nick Vincent, 15th in class, making some moves. We've got Corrido still all over the rear wing of Steve Tucker's Mercedes-Benz. Diltz, I think, is going to get the slipstream on Holmes. This is for third in GT3. Through turns 1 and 2 of the oval.
And a big move from Littell over McKenna. Littell gets a great exit and moves past McKenna here, right down into right into the bus stop.
It's a battle for 5th in class. And I don't think Diltz, I think Diltz got kind of spooked by Cody Hayhurst in the 98. So the battle for 3rd in GT3 has fizzled out by just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll move on to this battle right here.
Passing Caden Dieterich.
Steve Tucker holding off Dan Corrido here. This one's we're gonna move over to this. This is really, really close, and Dan's in a slipstream here, and he bound to make a move here.
Slipstream gaining. Will we see some bump drafting in GT3s at the Daytona International Speedway? You've got to start braking for turn 1. It's not like the oval. Corrido, little bit of movement under braking in the 320.
I don't blame him. I would not have. I wouldn't want to be that close behind somebody into that braking zone unless I'm very familiar with where it is for them. And Dan makes an absolute bomb up into the inside, gets into the side corner panel, makes the move. Is he going to keep it and make it stick?
Side by side, exiting turn 3, down to turn 4, the kink, into the second horseshoe. Corrido holds strong on the outside. They touch, and around Tucker goes. Does he hit the wall? He does not. In the 24. And there was no physical contact. That had to have been net code between Tucker, who's from New England, and Corrido from New York.
Wow, and it may not have been either. To be honest with you, for me, it didn't look like contact. We don't have replay capabilities now because I'll
take a look off monitor and I'll tell you.
You go take a peek and see, because like we've mentioned, that's a tricky corner to hit at full speed. So if you let off and you upset the balance of the car, it could very well spin.
There was definite net code right front to left front. If you're new to iRacing, what the hell does net code mean? Is the connection differences between the two drivers. As the sim, I'm going to bring her up. Brandon Holmes has pummeled the wall on the exit of the Le Mans chicane from 4th in class. He comes out in front of Corrido, and Corrido is involved. One more car. It's Plemons. And what?
Plemons is off.
What was that?
Wow. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Pulled out in
Brandon
front
Holmes.
of this.
What happened here? Let's go back again here a bit. He just gets loose on the exit of the bus stop. I had to do a double click to go get back to it, but he just gets loose on the exit and then tries to rejoin, and he rejoins right down to the dance.
Terrible rejoin.
Very unfortunate.
That's frustrating.
Very, very unfortunate.
Super frustrating, but the only way I can put it is there's 39 cars, so many different skill levels. It's just a shame to see as Corrido made that move on the outside only to be involved in something out of his control.
The bus stop is definitely a tricky spot to be. You are kind of hitting it at full speed. There's some lifts involved, a bit of the dabs of the brake, but you know, from a speed perspective, you're hitting it very, very quickly, and you're doing some maneuvers that really need to be smooth in a car like that. They need to be very, very, very intricate, and he just, it's very easy to keep the weight on the left side on that exit and just have a hard time getting it back over. So it looked like to me over-rotate the car.
Seeing some pit stops really quick. Dylan Gonas pits from 4th in GTP.
So
Kledzik pits in GT3 from the 8th position. As the pit stops begin, Corrido back on track with the faster pair, but that Ferrari certainly going to be dropped down the order. Such a shame, as the man from New York involved in something not of his own doing. And 6.7 seconds. We're not missing anything up front in GTP. Larson beginning to pull away. Erdmann is pitting in the 525. Another car pitting in GTP. It is Justin Gibbs. So will Larson go long, or will he pit to respond? It's the question we're trying to figure out.
Oh, the timing. My timing screen is going absolutely wild.
Ayrton Littell.
A lot of shuffling. You know, our leader at the moment, obviously not our true leader right now. Actually, no, it's okay. It's
well,
for sure.
Larson has been out front. Larson has been out front, and it is okay. So it's hard to manage with 39 cars. So it will cut you a little bit of slack for sure. An impressive field.
Absolutely,
so
an impressive
the pit
field.
lane. So we will keep an eye. I'm going to keep an eye on Lincoln Larson in the 916 off monitor.
So we'll see what he does and how Lincoln can handle that defensive driving. He's gonna have to do something here.
Larson leads, call it by 2 car lengths. Through turns 1 and 2 of the oval, down to the Le Mans chicane. They're going to run into Jack Clark, but it's a matter of when. Defending is Larson, compromising his line. Gonas knows not to make a move here into the Le Mans chicane. Austin Dilt's not happy over a gnarly rejoin is what I'm hearing. And because they are battling for the 2nd spot. It was Sean Lanning that went off the track. People are not happy. Catalano is turned around in the Le Mans chicane on the apex. Larson holds the lead. So once Bryan Sawyer gives us the okay, we might try and step aside for a bit of a break. But we're just trying to figure out when we are good to go.
Bottas and Larson are not going to let us anyways. Look at these. They're coming up on traffic too, so this is getting
Larson looks inside
spicy.
on Corey Allen. Gonas catches him. Allen minds his own business. They've got Luke Kledzik in the 66. Erdmann pits again in the 525. I think he might have gotten a penalty. Hayhurst nearly spins. Larson and Gonas. So we are finally back after our technical difficulties. Apologies there. We're going to step aside here in Daytona. We'll take you picture in picture.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Between these two in turn one, this is going to get spicy.
exiting turn 1, over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McLaughlin contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn 1, up Betty to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Ronnie's going to hold the spot. We welcome you back to round 2 of the OSRL GT series from the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck and Justin Robichaux doing both jobs sometimes. He's next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz. We welcome you back to Daytona. And if you saw in picture, we nearly had a catastrophe for the race lead. Dylan Goness and Lincoln Larson have been going at it since the pit stop rotation. We had a lapped car in the way. Goness was mowing the lawn, and Justin Robichaux, this battle has not let up for the race lead. I don't even have a moment to do programming notes or sponsor plugs. They're going at it so hard right now. Yeah, this is wild, and through traffic too. It's been pretty fun to watch. They haven't even let GT3 cars stop them whatsoever. It just kind of adds to the spiciness of the battle so far. We even watched a GT3 kind of just drive off the track to not interrupt the battle. So it's been quite something. And this is our third. Feels like Gibbs sitting right there, ready to just chomp at it if something happens between these two. So Gibbs is 14 seconds behind these two. You might be thinking of Brianna Lavin in the 71, but it's good seat time for her if she can hang with these guys. We say it a lot in NASA Rallycross broadcasts. You want to stay behind the fast guys to learn the track, learn the car for sure. Absolutely, definitely benefit from driving behind people that are just slightly quicker than you, and typically that's how it naturally falls out if you're a consistent driver. So, yeah, some of these drivers may even get stronger throughout the race. So who knows, right? It's very, very excellent. The draft is an excellent equalizer in tracks like this. You can kind of hang on to somebody who's a bit quicker and stay there longer. So. Larson, as we ride on board, gaining, no connection issues. Did he hit the wall just a touch going into the Le Mans chicane? While we have a moment, well, I thought we were going to have a moment as Larson had a huge run through the Le Mans chicane. Goness has nowhere to go. You can only defend one line, and Larson trying to take the lead. We're side by side through turns 3 and 4 of the famous oval here at the Daytona International Speedway. And if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network. We will be back next Thursday for the OSRL GT Series at Sebring in Florida as well. And don't forget the season debut at NASA Rallycross Lights on Sunday. Victor Valley, Jared Lott, James Watson for that. 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday will be at Hell in Norway, and the 30th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge. Monday, March 18th, also in Norway. Bryan Sawyer, Justin Robichaux, myself, Josh Mertz for that, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Reminder, cameras for tonight's broadcast and all season here on OSRL and NASA Rallycross, brought to you by Whiplash SimCams, and coverage of OSRL and ASN brought to you by NordVPN for 67% off a 2-year plan with 3 months free for a friend. NordVPN.com/ASNTVUSA. And we talk about the GTP battle being absolutely furious, and it was a little bit furious in GT3 kind of earlier on, Justin Robichaux, but Christian Oquendo has pulled away from Austin Diltz. The only battle that's going on right now, Morgan Smith and Deegan Urquides, Steve Tucker and Luke Kledzik. But Oquendo, 5 seconds ahead of Diltz.
Yeah, Steven Tucker's been holding off Kledzik for quite a few laps now. Just hanging on here. I think this is about the closest battle for a move that I can see at the moment. Morgan Smith still holding off Deegan or Queeties, but that battle seems to stretch out a bit in some corners.
Battle for the lead. Battle for the lead. Sorry to interrupt you. Larson and Gonas. Gonas gaining. GT3 car in the way. It was Allen slipstreaming. Gonas looking driver's right, peeking to the outside. We've got 8 laps to go here in Daytona. Deep on the brakes. Larson holds the spot. We're still side by side in turn 1. They're coming up on Wilkie and Holmes. Larson holds it. Wheel spin out of turn 1, and the Acura over the Porsche holds it for the moment.
Oh boy, and we're going to get into a lot of traffic here in this next one. These guys are actually going to catch up to that race or that little battle we were looking at in the GT3s that's actually starting to fizzle out already at this point. Starting to look at Morgan Smith holding off Deegan or Queeties now, but a lot of these GT3 battles seem to be in pairs and they are spreading out as the race goes on a little bit. I don't know if some of these drivers are just falling out of that slipstream range.
In front of him, Justin. He gets back going again. I was concerned that Vincent would have came out in front, but the GTPs will not be affected. This is a close battle. We've got Smith versus Urquides. We've got Tucker versus Kledzik. And Brent Smith has just gotten by Caden Dieterich, but both of them are off the track as we head to the Le Mans chicane on lap 22 of 29, Justin Robichaux. And this has been a brawl for the race lead in GTP all night.
Oh yeah, once the GT3 spread out a bit, it's basically just been kind of a game of snake for the GTPs, and it's made battling very difficult. You get into a good little groove, and it just takes one car to get in your way in a very specific manner, and the driver ahead of you can use that to their advantage. Get a good little run going, and maybe jump out of that slipstream area, because once you can get out of there, that's when that equalizer starts to jump out.
In the way of Larson, here comes Gonas. Gonas has nowhere to go either.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Down to turn 3. Contact, move out of the way. Brent Smith, says Lincoln Larson. These two running out of time. 9.5 minutes left to go here in Daytona Beach. I'm fascinated by the battle that we've had all night. We thought for a moment, we'll be biased for 2 more seconds. We thought Cody Erdmann was going to have it. He was on pole position in the 525, had some issues. He sits 5th. He actually is 5th. He's 4 seconds behind Maverick McKenna. And Larson hasn't had the issues like he did last week in Watkins Glen, nor has Gonas. These two, reminder, top 2 in points. Granted, we've only had 1 race, but they were the top 2 last week, and Justin Gibbs in 3rd. So a repeat. Maverick McKenna. As we're taking a look at Kledzik versus Tucker. This is for 6th in GT3. We have a picture-in-picture for you there.
Kledzik's making a nice charge. Oh, here's the move. We're just about to catch it.
It's Justin Robichaux handling GT3 in the bottom right, top left, and battle for GTP.
Yeah, he makes that stick big time. Unless that Merc gets a bit on the exit, but no, he clears him, and that's a move right there. Great job from Kledzik to take that over from Steve Tucker.
Now they're coming up on Morgan Smith and Urquides here.
They are. This whole field is starting. This is going to be a 4-way battle here very, very soon. They're all in slipstream range. If they can get out and have good exits coming out into the oval area, this is going to be a fantastic little run into the bus stop. Actually, this could be a catastrophic run into the bus stop, Josh, the way it's been going.
This is all for position. I just realized, Justin, this is all for position. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th in GT3.
Yeah. It is. So a lot of these drivers hungry because they can get out there, get ahead, maybe feed off a podium if there's a mistake late in this race.
We always say, in any race, anything can happen. Your Oquendo, Diltz, Gonzalez, of course, we wish nothing bad happened to them, but anything could happen.
No,
these guys could be battling for a podium for sure.
Nice. They're nice and spread out coming into the bus stop here.
As it's 2/10 from Urquides to Smith. Call it a 10.5. Smith got a much better run than the 2:23 of Urquides.
Definitely, and he's got Kledzik right in tow, and they're going to come inside.
I'll tell you what, though, Look who's coming. It's Gonas and Larson. Gonas looks to the race lead, and they're coming up on this battle that we're focusing on. We're going to have both battles in the same shot here in just a couple moments. Larson goes to the race lead. We've got under 7 minutes left at the Daytona International Speedway, and we've got 4 GT3 cars, 5 in the way of the GTP. Is going to be caught, I think, in turn 3 in the International Horseshoe. Maybe sooner than that. What do you do if you're Gonas? What do you do if you're the GT3s?
Oh, wow, here we go. You have to go wide.
Urquidy's on the front, out of the way in the GT3. Gonas gets by. Larson's going to be stuck behind Kledzik. Kledzik gets on the run. Will Larson force it in the kink? He can't. He's going to lose the ground.
Larson didn't like that at all. He was on the lights. He was flashing him hard. He didn't like that move whatsoever. And this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. It just takes one car in one corner to ruin, seconds
really quickly, battle for 4th in GTP. Erdmann versus McKenna in turn 1. The gap is a second between the two leaders. We're not missing anything there, but McKenna and Erdmann side by side in the 817 and the 525. As this battle still raging on for that position. Justin Gibbs running a lonely race in 3rd. And Kledzik slipstreaming Smith down the backstretch. This is for 4th in GT3. And Kledzik lets the
he's on the brakes early. On the brakes early. That's smart, I think. You don't want to go too aggressive in the bus stop, and they're actually making quite a move on. Is this Gonzalez they're coming up on now too? So Gonzalez looks like he might have had an issue. A huge gap has been bridged here from Smith.
This is Kaylor Catalano in 31st, 21st in class in the 04.
04, we're coming up on the... I didn't even see the number there. The numbers are kind of hard to see sometimes, so lap traffic, so not even a concern.
It is all okay. Thanks for hanging with us despite the technical difficulties, and thanks for hanging with us despite the messy calls. There's 39 cars. It's very hard to manage everything that is going on.
There's way too many cars, clearly.
3/4 of a second, and Gonas has put Young Gonzalez between him and Larson. The gap is gaining. Larson flashes the lights in the Acura.
And this, this 3-way battle here for position, 4th, 5th, 6th is just unbelievable at the moment.
Smith looks to the inside of Catalano to get by the 04, put a car in between this battle for the 4th position.
Give it to Kledzik as well. Tucker might not get so lucky, though, just based on how the track is going to go for him. He'll have to take it. Oh, he gets a little loose trying to give it to him, too, and staying on the inside.
Through the middle goes Justin Gibbs in 3rd in his lonely little race.
Threads it. Just threads it.
In GTP. Gonas now has gapped 1.3 seconds to Lincoln Larson. And if Gonas wins this race, we'll have a tie for the points lead going into Sebring next week.
Unbelievable. Sebring will be an excellent track for these cars to just let them loose and have a lot of wicked bumpy fun.
As the gap for the race lead in GT3 is 6.5 from Oquendo to Diltz. Gonzalez a further 5 back. And this Gonas pitting in the 47. So are we having another fuel issue as Larson? Do they have to pit again? I remember we had this issue last week. Justin Gibbs ran out of fuel on the last lap of the race. Do they have to pit twice? We'll keep an eye.
Wow.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. As Gonas has pitted for fuel, has Larson learned his lesson? Will he save fuel or will he have to pit with under 3 minutes left to go?
This is going to be very curious. I'll have to keep a close eye on that now.
Gibbs pits, exits, loses the 4th spot. This puts Larson, Gonas, Erdmann on the podium at the moment. Will Larson have to pit? That is the question. 29 seconds is the gap, 2.25 minutes left to go here in Daytona. Kledzik and Smith battling for 4th in GT3. And Tucker, if something goes wrong in this battle for 4th. Keeping an eye, Larson does not pit. 2 laps to go, says timing here in Daytona Beach for Lincoln Larson. And how quick everything changes with having to save fuel. I don't think Larson was saving fuel. There's no thinking, Justin Robichaux, with them battling like they were.
No way.
No
I don't
way.
think so. I don't think so.
Unless
no
he knows
way.
now that he's got the gap.
Yeah. I just
Justin
don't think it's
Gibbs
long
battling
enough.
with McKenna. McKenna goes off the track in the Le Mans chicane, and Gibbs holds the 4th spot.
Oh, wow. And Morgan Smith is got Kledzik literally in tow on him now coming into turn 1. He jumps up high.
Kledzik tries to make the move. Tucker as well sneaking into the picture. And Larson, if Larson can save fuel despite that battle, that's going to be incredible. We'll just have to wait and see. As it looks like, according to the rear wing, Smith and Kledzik are teammates. So, of course, there won't be too much argy-bargy between those two.
Of course.
I'm keeping an eye on the race leader, Lincoln Larson. He's going to come to the white flag. According to timing and scoring, this will for sure be the white flag in Daytona Beach. And will he pit or will he use this 30 seconds that he has to save fuel and take the 2nd victory in a row? Larson comes off the final corner to take the white flag here in Daytona Beach. And will he pit? He does not cross the pit lane this time. He's got 30 seconds. Will he run out of fuel? Will Gonas be able to take this win? We'll just have to wait and see. Erdmann sits in 3rd in the 525. And Kledzik and Smith battling for 4th in GT3. It has been a chaotic race, and I say that line a lot, but with 39 cars, it has been scintillating, to say the least, here in Daytona Beach. And Lincoln Larson outlasted Cody Erdmann, outlasted Gonas, it looks like, and it looks like he's got half a lap to try and make it 2 in a row this season. Clips the dirt, saves the car down to turn 5. Back out onto the oval. One final blast, and it uses the most fuel in these cars. Of course, full speed, no draft, against the wind, as Tucker has gotten by Kledzik as they're battling behind Cody Erdmann in the 525. So this is for 4th in GT3. Final time into the Le Mans chicane for Lincoln Larson. Taking his time, no pressure, to try and get by Matthew Buchorn in the 22. Final time into turns 3 and 4, the famous Daytona International Speedway for Lincoln Larson, and it looks like he's going to have enough fuel to do it. Off of the final corner, it has been chaos all evening long, weaving his way to the checkered flag. Larson 2 in a row, opening the season in style, winning in Daytona Beach. Back to the GT3 field. As Oquendo getting passed by Gonas in the 47. So we'll see Gonas come home in 2nd in GTP. Oquendo will come off of the final corner to deny Austin Diltz 2 in a row, as the 0-1 will win in GT3, flashing the lights in his Porsche, and the Audi of Austin Diltz, a 1st and a 2nd to begin the season. Not a bad run. Yun Gonzalez comes home in 3rd. Erdmann comes home in 3rd at the line. Did he get it? He did. By 0.02 of a second. Erdmann on the podium. I think he was out of fuel. He just said he ran out of fuel coming to the pit lane. Wow.
Awesome.
Let's, I guess while we wait, let's see if we can grab our race winners. We'll take a look at the results after we have a chat with special guest Cody Erdmann while we wait for our race winners. First of all, who let you out of the retirement home to get you pole position, and how was your race?
Yeah, it was really good. I've ran a ton of laps here because we ran the Daytona 24 here about a month ago, so a car felt really good. Although I ran for the Daytona 24, I ran the BMW, so had to get a little bit used to the Cadillac, but I've been running that, testing the Caddy for Sebring, so kind of used to the car. Just had to get my braking points down and everything. But overall, good. Yeah, good qualifying. I was running there right behind Lincoln, just trying to ride for a minute, and then I just clipped that grass. And then when we did green flag pit stops, I just barely nicked one of the cones coming out, and it literally stuffed it in my left front like suspension, and it acted like I had like severe chassis damage. So I had to come in and do a quick repair. So then I just was in pretty much recovery mode, just trying to navigate my way through traffic, which is like my favorite thing to do here. But then yeah, we were running, and I noticed we were gonna be really tight on fuel. So at the white there, I turned the car off going into one, and these are not stock cars. When you flip the ignition back on, they have to recycle. So there's a couple GT3s out of the battling that I pretty much just backed up into. I am sorry, but
you, according to Brian and according to timing, you got the podium spot by 0.029 over Gibbs.
Oh yeah, it started stumbling at the entrance of the pit lane, and like 5 car lengths after the pit lane, it died. So I was just coasting to the line, and I'm like, oh god, and then yeah. So happy to get the P3. Good recovery for a couple of mistakes that I had, and unfortunate kind of iRacing glitch. So.
Well, normally we would let you go, but you can hang out. But one last question: anyone you'd like to thank for a surprise podium tonight in Daytona?
Yeah, first off, I'd like to thank my wife and all the kids here. So, and then secondly, I also like to thank my father for being alive. He just had a heart attack, so this one's for him. And then yeah, all the Firelight guys, we've put in a ton of work, especially like our Daytona set was pretty good, and I think it showed here tonight. And then IMB, Area 52 Designs, Big Evil, Breeze Coffee, and everyone that supports us at Firelight. We have a really good squad. So if you're looking for a fun team to hang out, just play video games with, or do some really competitive iRacing, we're a good place to be. So hit us up.
All righty, my friend. Like I would say, normally we'd let you go, but you can hang out and hang out with us until we end. We're going to bring in Christian Oquendo, race winner in GT3. Justin Roba, show all yours.
Christian Oquendo, you just you checked out all race. You really didn't seem to be in too much of a battle with anybody, even after the pits. Just talk me through your race. How'd that go for you?
Well, basically, we have put a lot of hours for the Daytona 24. So right in this race, we were prepared. So I just wanted to qualify really good to prevent any issues that we may have in traffic. So I managed to get the pole, and like you said, I felt comfortable. The car felt really good, so I just put it in gear and just kept going.
That's fantastic. The car looked really good tonight. Were you feeling managing the GTPs okay in a track like Daytona? Was it better than last week?
Well, way better. A lot more space. They still scared me a couple of times. I think there was one that locked its brakes and crashed into a lap GT3 right in front of me. I thought that was the end of my race, but managed to drive around it. But other than that, it was pretty good.
Oh, that's fantastic. It looked very good from our end as well, Christian, and a great race. Anybody you'd like to thank today?
No, basically, I want to thank my race team, Team Racing PR. Basically, they have helped a lot in managing and getting us to where we are at the level that we're racing. I know a couple of guys didn't have a good night-to-night connection issues that affected their race, but hopefully next week we're back up and running all together.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Christian, and great race today.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
One more for you, Justin Roba Show. It's a race winner, 2 in a row. Lincoln Larson, Justin Roba Show, all yours.
You got to talk me through your race, because this one was dramatic. Tell me what was going through your head. There was a lot of
interesting one. Sorry to interrupt. Interesting one, because the man that you were battling at the beginning is in here. So I guess, yeah, talk us through your race.
Yeah, talk us through it, because that looked hectic from our end.
Pretty much my whole goal of the race was just to fuel save, so I didn't have to do that second pit stop, and it ended up working with 0.0 laps at checkered. So, but
wow.
I don't know, it was fun battles and stuff.
Yeah, we were wondering about that actually, if you were going to make it or not. So fuel saving was a strategy. That was something we were. I was going to ask you actually, so you answered my question on that one. Left me hanging, but How was traffic tonight? It seemed not difficult, but there were some challenges for sure. Did you have a strategy going into it? Were you practicing that before you came into tonight's race, or were you just going to wing it on the fly and hope you could learn it as you went?
Yeah, traffic wasn't really as bad as last week, but I don't know. I did. There were some moments with it, but it was pretty easy.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to thank today, Lincoln?
I don't know. Once again, just people I'm doing with it. Maverick McKenna, the GOAT.
Awesome. Thanks, Lincoln, and great race tonight, man.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care.
We're going to take a look at the unofficial results exiting Daytona Beach, and Lincoln Larson, Dylan Gonas, Cody Erdmann. Not sure. I think our feed might be a little bit broken. So I guess we're just black screening it for now. So, oh, there we go. So, Larson, Gonas, Erdmann, the podium, Gibbs, McKenna, Hayhurst, Lavin, Michaels, the GTP field, Christian Oquendo, Austin Diltz, Yun Gonzalez on the podium in GT3, Smith, Tucker, Kledzik, Urquides, Halsey, McLuhan, Smith down the top 10 in GT3, Corey Allen, Chris Wilkie, Caden Dieterich, Nick Vincent, Brandon Holmes, Matthew Buchorn, Wesley Woods, Robert Suku, Dan Carrito, Jacob Clemens, Kaylor Catalano, Jack Clark, Ayrton Littell, 9th in GTP, 31st overall, had some issues in car number 30 tonight. Omar Esvito, Donnie Heineman, JP DeFino, Hunter Terpstra, Montri Rakenna, Sean Lanning, Jeffrey Seymour, Victor Pfluger with that computer issue, technical issue midway through the race, Edgar Ruiz, and Dylan Clark, 41st and last on the field. Going to have a couple programming notes, a couple sponsor plugs, Justin Robo Show final thoughts, and we will seal this one up here in Daytona Beach.
Thought is, I can't wait for next week. This was a lot of fun. I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad I'm glad you guys called me up. I had a lot of fun. GT3 racing. I'm not very good at it, but I do enjoy it. I like to whip the cars around the ring quite a bit, and you know, I do some league racing. So this has been a good time, and I'm very much looking forward to Sebring next week. It's a fantastic track. It's so good for these cars. It's very exciting, and it's so iconic. So I just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
As I love the GTP cars, I love the GT3 cars, and I love the mixed class and the differences of just figuring out how to get by. And Sebring's going to be, I'd say, more difficult than Watkins, because you've got the two airport runways, and you've got the run down to the hairpin. There's only a few places that you could pass. The rest of it's going to be pretty tight and technical, so that's going to be a certainly spicy one. A couple programming notes before we say goodnight on the Automotive Sports Network. The first round of the 4th season of NASA Rallycross Lights will be Sunday the 17th. That'll be in Hell in Norway. You'll join Victor Valley in the production truck, Jared Lott, and James Watson for that. And the season opener of the 30th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge the following day, March 18th, also at Hell in Norway. You'll have Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, Justin Robichaud alongside me. My name is Josh Mertz. We will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with NASA Rallycross Contenders, and we will end the evening with NASA Rallycross Supercars. And I am so excited, I'll publicly say this, Kieran Lifflander versus Evan McFarland, two kids of the iRacing service. I feel like a boomer saying that. That's going to be a hell of a battle to watch. I'm so excited. We're not going to forget of our third round of the OSRL GT Series. We will be at the Sebring Raceway in Florida. That'll be next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like what you saw tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network. Going to give a public shout out, and I'm sure you'll agree, Jess Rakowski, one of our staff members, a lot of work into the short videos that she has been doing. I greatly appreciate what you've been doing, Jess. It is incredible the amount of viewership that we have been watching, not only for the shorts, but we do have the live streams Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Cameras for tonight's broadcast and all season brought to you by Whiplash SimCams, and coverage of OSRL and ASN brought to you by NordVPN, your gateway to online freedom and security. Protect your digital privacy with military-grade encryption, browse the web anonymously, and access your favorite content from anywhere in the world. You can receive 67% off a 2-year plan with 3 months free for a friend at nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. The checkered flag has fallen on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Jess Rakowski, Victor Valley, Jared Lott, Chad Irvine, Philip Kraus, Justin Rovashow, Cody Erdmann, James Watson, and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz. We hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the OSRL GT Series tonight from Daytona. We congratulate our winners in GTP and GT3 after a scintillating race. Be sure to join us next week for this series in Sebring, but our next broadcast will be Sunday for NASA Rallycross Lights in Norway. Until then, so long, everyone.